What is up, everybody? Welcome on into the Aegis Rolldown podcast. I am your boy, TheRealHoneyBear, here with Lorence, and I'm back from vacation. Finally, I missed 2 weeks. Lorence, how the heck are you, man? It's been a while.
It's been a little bit too long. I've really looked forward to getting you back here for multiple reasons. One being that you can produce things much better than pretty much anyone else I know, and two, it's just fun being around you. So I'm excited to get this back on the roll. Roll down. And we've got like I think it's kind of funny because like you've been gone for a couple weeks, so it's like what did we talk about while you were gone? Like what do we have to catch you up on?
No clue.
Does it feel like you missed? Does it feel like you missed out on a bunch?
Yes. Yeah, I feel like I missed out on everything. Thankfully, I was here for the first week of the brand new set, so that feels good. Really, since I've been gone, we released the league signups. We did the whole. We didn't revamp much, but we did the whole revamp of the leagues. That I missed. I wasn't a part of this time around. So yeah, couple weeklies gone by. I missed the entire PBE cycle. That was weird.
Yeah, that's got to be awkward. Like I specifically chose to not completely immerse myself in PBE this time around. Just for time purposes. I had finals this last week that I finished up on, so I'm like, I don't need to concentrate on PBE. I'll figure it out. And I was doing okay at the beginning of the set, even with that in mind. But now I'm not doing so hot. We'll get into that later. But does it feel like you were behind a little bit on the meta when you've been playing? Have you been playing much?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot actually. 30 something games in, so it's been feeling good. I've gotten games here and got games there. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I mean, do we have anything for the intro, or you just want to slide into meta and talking TFT? I'm excited to talk TFT, so
I'm ready and raring. I mean, we're almost already talking about meta news, so let's just slide right back into it, I think.
I'm down. But yeah, I felt pretty good about it. I think just hanging out with a lot of different guys who are actually knowledgeable about the game has been really nice. Started off plat because I did not make it to a Masters. It felt a little different, but also like kind of refreshing. I could kind of learn my way up, if that made sense. Like I haven't been super stressed, and that's been really nice. Kind of just working my way up. It's been really good. How about you? I know you've been playing a little bit.
Yeah, I was playing a little more than perhaps I should have, and I like let myself get into like the stagnation of like I'm just good enough. I don't need to keep studying. And so like at the beginning of the set, I was able to use perhaps some of my like natural knowledge of the game. Like not that it's that much, but like the ability that I've played this game that long that I can just play units and make them work. And I was able to hit like high D2 or mid D2 on like day 2 or 3. And now I almost demoted to D4, so it's a little rough. I just had a game right before this where I got second only because somebody got a 2-star Aatrox and a 2-star Echo, so that's a little hard to compete with. But it was fun. Like I had a nice little Vex game.
2-star or 3-star?
3-star.
3-star. Okay, you said 2.
Yeah, 3-star.
But I'm like, I thought you meant 3.
3-star.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-star. 3-star. Yeah, those are pretty hard to beat.
Yes.
Yeah, so like that's my introduction to today's TFT for myself. But I think overall I've liked the changes that they did. I think just like I keep making this meme over and over again, so hopefully it's not too bad. But I always like to almost compare like the 8.5 to our leagues, where we didn't make too many changes. We kind of had like 2 small changes and that's it. And that's kind of what they did with the set, it feels like as well, where they just kind of like, here's 2 little changes and that's it.
Yeah, it does feel like they barely touched it, in all honesty. I like the new champions, though. I've enjoyed them. I'm starting to enjoy Warwick less and less, as he is just running rampant and destroying everyone. But other than that, like I enjoy Warwick as a character design, though. I think they did a good job with Warwick, and I like that. But the fact that 3 Laser Corp Warwicks can be in the same game, and if they all hit 2-star, they just go 1, 2, 3, or at least all 3 top 4. Like that feels a little sus to me.
Yeah, I think one thing I gotta add to that, like right away, is I think I think fizzling will always be like a difficult thing to kind of manage, especially with certain spells. Like it seems as if some of them are like impossible to fix, like the Samira. They tried to remedy that a little bit with Warwick, and that feels pretty good. Where if he fizzles or it's a useless ult, he gets a lot of his mana back.
Yep.
Do you think that like that would? Do you think they should just like blanket do that to almost everybody, or at least to like 5 costs or 4 costs?
Maybe. I don't know how that would. I think they might come into problems to where things might be just absurdly broken if they do that. Which could be the case, but it's also like it will take a lot of the power out of the champion into the fizzle ability, if you will. And so I do think if they do that, they have to start pulling back. I don't know if that should be the way they go, but it is nice not. Like, I hate when you have a massive ultimate that you miss. Like, Leona was awful.
I wanted to say that.
It was awful. Leona is terrible.
Right.
So, like, for a champion like that is niche. So ulti dependent. Like, Leona does nothing besides her ult, in my opinion. Like, she stands there. Right. She tanks a little bit. She's not even like a tanky. Super bulky tank.
She's not tanky.
No.
She doesn't like she has Aegis, but like that's the
good trait. Thing. Yeah. You got a great trait.
Imagine if she didn't have Aegis. Like
she'd be a useless unit.
Most useless unit I've ever like she'd be like renegade fodder basically. Like toss her in the front line. Maybe she kills a unit and then she dies. And now your actual renegade is doing their job. Like that's how it feels. And what I was going to lead into with that and why I kind of asked is like at least maybe for 5 costs. It feels like at least for 5 costs, that should almost be the standard of if your ult fizzles in a reasonably trackable way, such as Leona, if you ult and they die within half a second, you get X amount of mana back, or within 1 second they get X amount of mana back. I think that should just be
maybe
a standard.
Maybe single target ults, but imagine Fiddlesticks with that.
Yeah. I mean, like that.
Fiddlesticks jumps in and is like, all right, install ult again. Yeah, that would feel bad. But yeah, I think single target. I think I'm more on board though. What do you think about like making it specific to single target ult?
Yeah, no,
single target ults.
I think that's what maybe I'm perhaps getting at. Is I don't think it should be applied to people like Fiddlesticks. Like it's the chances of him completely just whiffing his ult and being like totally useless. It's pretty low. It's extremely low because of the way his targeting simply works.
Yep.
And if it misses because like perhaps there's like 2 units left, that's kind of the way the champion's supposed to work. Is you can potentially miss if there's only 2 units left. That's it. It's an AOE ability. But like something like Leona's, where it's like I'm gonna try and kill this. It's gone. It's gone, and now you just wasted a 5 cost basically.
Yep. And you have 80 mana to work your way back up, or 70 or whatever it is.
Right.
And she attacks slow, and she's not the main tank, so nobody's really attacking her. Like, okay, if you get 2 ults off in a fight, Leona did pretty good.
Leona actually put in extra time, like extra overtime that time.
Big thumbs up if you get 2 ults.
Yeah, I mean, there's not everything that can apply to that, but like, say perhaps if Samira's ult, just say like, hey, if you kill something within 0.1 or 0.5 seconds of it happening, or if something dies when you target it within 0.5 seconds, she gets like 20 mana back. Like nothing, because it does happen. Like it does happen, and she retargets, but like getting that, and she's a 4 cost carry. I'd be fine with a lot of her power actually being shifted down, as long as she got a little bit back if she kills something right away, and then that would cover that fizzling that makes her really annoying to deal with sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. And just like I think they've worked with like the fizzling effect for a little while of just a feels perspective. You know what I mean? Like if you remember back, what was it set? I think it was just set 7. The Corky ult was a 4 cost carry. That could miss its ult. And it's like, that feels awful. And it works so hard to get it up there. It's like, oh, jeez. You just,
like, why doesn't it retarget? Like, how hard is
the
this?
uprights. It's like, oh, that feels terrible.
Yeah.
So I think things like that are just general gameplay fixes that I think are really healthy for the game. Maybe harder to balance around, in my opinion. but it feels so much better if your main carries don't miss their ult or
Yeah,
don't peter out. It kind of sucks if that happens.
yeah,
So, and it's like it feels bad on the player end, and you never want to feel bad on the player end.
Mhm. Yeah, the way I keep looking at it is it's I feel like there should be a standard. Like if you are a 4-cost carry, you should be expected to like do your job. If it's you look at somebody like Lucian, I'm fine with him missing his abilities. Like, and old Lux, like Lux could miss. Like it's a 1-cost. Like that's supposed to miss almost. Like that's part of the power budget is that it can miss.
Yep.
Or like overkills, and now it's missing. Like Lucian will kill you on the first shot, and then the rest miss. It's like that's fine. It's like supposed to be part of the way the game is balanced. But you look at somebody like Samira, that's not supposed to happen. Or I'm sure there are a couple other examples we can think up too. Can you think of anything of like other champions that have fizzled in the past that would benefit? I'm trying to think of something off the top.
Not that come to mind right off the top of my head. I feel like there have been quite a few, in the past of just. I think you nailed it on the overkill though. I think that's been more of the champion problem. But fizzling out, I feel like there's been less and less like single target things that just peter out. Maybe in the last set you had the almost extreme overkill of if you went the AP Yone, or had some AP on Yone, and it would hit, a 1 HP target and crit for 800. You're like, that sucks. I wish I had that one. Like,
yeah, I wish I had that back. Yeah,
I wish I had that back real fast. Yeah, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any. Do you have any other examples?
I think though, I'm assuming you're talking about the Yone that used his ult.
Yes.
Yeah, the Yone that uses ult, because like you look at it, it's balanced around the fact that you would likely hit a lot of champions. So it feels like you could easily toss in there, like maybe shave down the power a little bit, and then say if it hits one champion, it refunds 20 mana. If it hits only 2 champions, it refunds 10 mana. And like I feel like that's not that difficult to include in there, but that's just me. I'll get off the soapbox of that because other than that, I feel like there's a lot of really good positives personally that I like that happened in this set. I mean, like heck, the carousels, like what you can't really even almost complain about those, right? I don't know how many.
The carousels are great. The one thing, and I would be remiss if I didn't say this because I did see Celia in the chat. And this has been kind of wild around summer camp and other communities I've been in. Are the eggs? The eggs somewhat feel pretty bad, especially getting eggs in the early game.
I gotta give the rebuttal to that. I think that the eggs should have no more than 3 turns on it, at most.
I would agree with that.
Like, why should there be 7? Like a 7-turn egg? That's just you're just taking up a spot on my bench. Like, what are you doing? And
takes
other than
up a
that,
spot on your bench, and there's no way around it. Like, you have to wait for that 7-cost egg, but you also don't get the gold from a unit that you might have needed in that time frame, right? Like,
exactly true.
Like, if it's a 3 gold unit, you might need that 3 gold. Like, you losing that could destroy someone's econ, and it's like the initial boost of the gold would be great. I know somebody came up. I want to say it was Fleur. Decided this or came up with this idea of selling the egg. So if you,
I was about to add that too.
If you had the ability to take, and I don't remember what their thought is. This is just mine. If you had the ability, if it's a 7-cost egg, we already know the cost value of that egg, and so why can't we take immediately half the value, or in 2 turns take half the value of the egg instead of waiting? Then it rewards people who wait, rewards people initially. Like, you get to choose at that point.
I think that's really kind of getting into like these, like, make things a little more less black and white, or there's a better word for it, but basically like the black and white of like it's either really good for you because you didn't need that and now you're going to get rewarded in 7 turns, or like you didn't need that and you get punished for it. It feels like there's not very much in between, whereas if you can sell them right away, or if there's less turns on them, it's everyone is a little more on a level playing field, where it just doesn't feel like it's a necessary thing that needs to be there.
Yeah.
But if that was fixed, how do you feel about carousels?
I love carousels. I really enjoy the 2 items. I think that's awesome. It does feel really, really good when you're like, okay, I need the bow, and there's 1 bow, and there's 20 items on the carousel, or 18 items on the carousel, and you're like, how is there 1 bow? You're stressing out about getting the 1 bow. You're like, I have like 18 items and there's 1. So like that feels great if you get it, but bad if you don't. But overall, I really enjoy the adaptations. I think there are small things like I would love to see just a little bit more of like, okay, maybe always have at least 2 items on the carousel. Or I don't know. Maybe that's overextending it. I haven't really thought it through, but sometimes the carousels feel a little bit worse now. But I really, really, really do enjoy seeing the 2 items, having to understand what in the world do I have to do.
It's like a little mini puzzle, right? Like
yeah,
you're kind of like having a little
what
puzzle,
items
like,
do I need? What units are out there? Like, you're not always going for the units. I would say now you way less look at the units.
I very rarely look at units.
Yeah, but it's like sometimes you'll see a unit, you're like, oh, I need this unit too, and it's got great items, so you're going for that. But I love that it rewards good players more now, in my opinion. If you are able to consciously think about the game, if you're able to really work through what you need versus what you don't need, it's going to reward you, and that, I think, is a really good adaptation. I want more of that. Reward good players. Don't reward players who have no idea what they're doing. So that, big change for that. The armories as well are really cool. I like the armories. Being able to just pick one of those up, get the item you want, slam an armory right afterwards. Feels good as well.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
What would your take be if we entirely replaced champions on the carousels?
I would not like that. I like champions on the carousels. What would you replace it with? Like just a gold chest? You get 4 gold, like 3 gold, 2 gold, 1 chest?
Yeah, it could be like chest? A gold chest, or like, because for me, it feels like a random, like it feels a little too random where this is some variance thing. I think another thing, I'm going to bring this actually up. Simra in the chat said that the issue with all of your solutions is that some degree it restricts variance. I would actually so my solution for replacing champions does reduce variance. This was said before that. However, I think that the solution of changing like for like that what was the initial point where we actually increase novelty by allowing you to or not novelty, we have you increase variance by allowing you to take the egg early or like at the actual end of it. Because right now there's less variance of, well, I guess I just have to sit on this egg. I don't get to do anything with it. Like with champions, right? You can sell it. You can sell the champion. You can keep the champion. You can do whatever you want with the champion. But right now you get the egg and you're like,
you sit on an egg.
Yep, you're sitting on the egg, hoping it hatches.
Yep, and it's the worst if it's like a roll down, like if you or something like that. You're like, okay, now I have to find my units, and I don't have that spot on the bench anymore. It feels terrible. If they put the egg just kind of off my bench, that would be like, get it off my bench. I would like that, but I don't know if you can do that. But getting rid of champions, I don't think I would ever be a fan of that. I really enjoy having champions. They've even went more towards getting more champions, right? This was what, set 4 or 5? Yeah, 5, when instead of dropping gold early on, there's more of a chance to drop a champion, and people wanted that. They wanted the opportunity to get a 3-cost champion rather than get the gold. The gold is still there, but there's a higher chance now of getting a unit. And that was an adaptation that I made, and I think a really good adaptation they made, because it's a feels good moment, and I think that it really helps people I really do think it helps the game to be able to be like, okay, can I use this unit? Like if items are similar, if you're like, okay, I don't care if I have this, or this, but this unit's really good, I want to try and get that one. I think that's a really good thing to keep in the game. Or if it upgrades a unit, or you're just like, oh, there's a random fiddlesticks, or a hotly contested Shen. I want Shen, and these items are fine. I'm gonna go with the Shen over it. I think that's a good thing.
Makes sense. Yeah. No, I'd agree. I actually also highly agree with the variance that having champions on minion rounds gives, because you could, particularly early in the game where you're talking about 3 costs, because that really changes how people end up playing. As like, oh, normally I have to wait to get this into my power. Like if I need a vein or something, I need to wait until I'm at least level 5 before I can really start realistically getting these champions. But now you can just get it right at Krugs, and now you can play 3 anima squad and put in maybe level and put in a duelist. And now you're on board. Like you it's very novel when that happens, because it doesn't happen often. Like you don't get that setup every time.
Yep.
But it does happen, and I think it's really, really healthy for the game.
But you can work with it, right? You get something, you get a vein, and you don't have any other anima squad. You're like, I could sell the vein, get my 3 gold, maybe hit econ, maybe hit 10, or I could keep it, see if I get an anima squad next round. Like it adds just a lot to it. I think it's a similar thing with Carousel, of like, okay, I'm getting this unit, I can sell it, I can keep it, I can upgrade my board, I can keep econ. I think that's something that's still needed for the game. What are your thoughts on bringing back, while we're still talking about champions, what are your thoughts on the new champions as a whole? Are there any that you really don't like? Are you liking the new champions they added in? Or do you think there needs to be some more updating before you can really get a good opinion?
So I have basically one super big gripe, and that is that I think the new Ezreal just feels weird, like the 5 cost. It takes so long for his ability to go off, and you would expect that something of that magnitude is going to like borderline wipe their board, or at least like their back, like 1 or 2 backline units. And in my experience so far, it feels very underwhelming when it goes off. Maybe I'm playing it wrong. I don't know.
Have you got slapped with a 3-item Ezreal yet? 3-item 2-star Ezreal. You got hit by that?
I believe I have.
It gets hit. It does some deeps.
Okay.
But it's like, how do I put it? Yeah, it you don't know if it's gonna fully wipe the board or not. Like it's kind of a hit or miss.
That's also kind of, so like maybe this is tying back in my original point that we'd had a little bit ago of like this 5 cost. Maybe it hits like 4 of the waves on your backline carry and kills it, or it hits 2 and then doesn't kill it, and now your board gets wiped because you only get like 1 cast every single time. Like you're not realistically getting 2 off unless you have a lot of mana generation somehow, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like I don't play much of the actual Ezreal comp. So.
Yeah, or it's a longer fight. I mean, if it's going to OT and your Ezreal's still alive, you're getting 2 off pretty easily. But other than that, no. But how would you compare it to like the other legendary alts? Like where would it stand up? Because for me it feels like it's a middle of the pack alt. It doesn't feel like it's underwhelming or overwhelming, but it's definitely not overwhelming. But when I'm looking at all the other 5 costs, where do you think it stacks up?
I think it's for me personally, it's a little below. We'll have to see as the set goes on, and he perhaps gets a little more buffs or goes down to like 180 for his mana costs, or because I think he's at 200 right now. So like him getting like moved around perhaps will make it a little better, but it just like thinks like if you are 200 mana, this should destroy their backline. Like, or just should shred their front line. Like this ult of a 5 cost with 200 mana should do so much stuff. Like if they like put down the damage a little bit and then perhaps made it like 100 mana, I'm down. I love the ult, but it just doesn't hit for me. So it feels like a bottom third to me personally.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, looking at him, I don't know how many 5 costs do we have. Like 10,
something like that. It's like 8 to 10 or something.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could see it as a bottom, because you do want it to. It's a damage ulti, right? You do want it as a
Yeah,
damage
and he's a
ulti.
damage carry, right? Too, so it's not a utility. There's no utility. He has 0 utility, if I'm not mistaken, unless he like slows or something.
No,
I can't
I don't
remember.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would compare it definitely above Leona. You know, it's hard to compare it to like you can't really put it with the Urgots, the Jannas. That doesn't really make sense. But if you put it with like a Mordekaiser,
yeah,
I don't know. It does feel like a Mordekaiser R. You know what I mean? Like I would say it does similar damage to a Mordekaiser R. Caveat: Laser Core is absolutely unbelievably broken right now. So it does a little bit more because of the fact that Laser Core is stupid broken. So if you take that out of it and just we're looking at the ultimate, I think Ezreal is slightly above a Mordekaiser ult. You know, at a similar item spike, no items to a similar item spike, I think it's around the same. So I would give it to that. I think Fiddle is a little bit more reliable of an ultimate, right? Because it's going to cast off. So I would say he would be above. But overall, I feel like the power of that ult is low to moderate. But I would probably give it, you know, a power scale. I'd give it a 7 or 8. I don't think I would go below that.
Okay. I mean,
I could be wrong. I could be wildly incorrect.
I've had very limited experience with this, so I mean, I'll probably like hold myself back from giving even further analysis on it because, in all honesty, like I've seen it maybe like 5 or 6 times. Like it's not that popular of a comp, so I'm not gonna completely dunk on it. But it just does feel like, oh, it goes off, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna get what? Oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, like that's how I've had my reactions to it. So I mean, I'll stop going on that train perhaps, but.
Yeah. Is that that's our only new 5-cost carry though, right?
Carry, yeah, I believe so.
I think it's our only new 5-cost, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be. I don't.
So, that kind of feels a little bit bad. Being only one new 5-cost, and it's kind of like, nobody's really playing it. Its play rate is pseudo low. It's like that kind of feels bad, man. Hey, should be get a 5-cost, slam a 5-cost. Not the case. You get that 5-cost, you're like, where's the 2-cost Ezreal, please? Find the crap unit to slot in with it.
That is another thing that's kind of funny with him, is that some of his power budget is tied to parallel.
Yep.
So it's like, that's cool, but if you just are like, oh crap, I don't have him. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're level 9, you find your Ez2, and you're scrambling to find like the 2-cost. You're like, I can't get it anymore.
This feels awkward. Yeah.
There's no coup cost in my shop. Somebody help. Yeah, feels rough. Have you still been playing, getting off like the legendaries and whatnot, have you still been playing, and excuse me if I'm leaking tech here. You know, I don't want to leak tech, but are you still running the Kale carry?
So I played it again. I think if you have the items and you hit a 2-star Kale early, I think it's top 4. Like you're gonna get like a 4th unless you low roll. That's my opinion. I mean, perhaps I'm still in Diamond, so who knows if I'm just in bad lobbies. But I feel like it's a pretty free top 4 in my opinion, because it's duelist, so you're kind of steamrolling at least some of the boards, and you're not completely bleeding out. And then once you start hitting your supers and your other duelist 3-star, including Kale, of course, even without the augment, I think you can make it work. This is my personal opinion. I also just like playing reroll. So.
It's Kale supers, is that what it is?
Yeah, Kale super, and you try to, so you play around 4 duelists and 3 super, and then once you hit at least like 2 of them, including Kale, to 3-star, you just go to get 6 duelists in, and you people sit until you lose. So that's how I play around it. But like if you get the carry augment, I think it's winnable. Like the game is just straight up winnable.
Okay. What do you run in on Kale?
I think
attack speed?
So my personal take is that you do not need actual attack speed on her, because the 4 duelist does the job for you, and you actually don't want her. You want more oomph in her autos than you want her to attack fast, because she has 30 mana, so she stops to ult. So if you have more time spent stopping to ult, then you're not having as much DPS uptime. So you'd rather just make those 3 autos from the ult extremely powerful and put things like Deathblade, Last Whisper, and then Infinity Edge. That's my 3 go-to, because her autos slap. If you don't have tank items, she's going to 2 or 3 auto your tank, or frontline units. So
feels good.
Yeah, I like it. I've only played it 3 times so far, but I've liked it. It's fun. It's a real comp I can play.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I've heard you talking about it. I'm gonna have to give it a shot. I've been run between. I know I like to go AP routes. Have been my bread and butter lately. I love the Vex route. TF. I enjoy running the TF route if I can, which is also a duelist route. But yeah, and then Kai'Sa carry. I've actually enjoyed Kai'Sa carry. It's come back a little bit. I think it's a B+ to A tier comp going the Star Guardian with Kai'Sa. But because I think a lot of the 3-cost units are contested, so it's a little easier to hit her 3-star. And I think if you can hit her 3-star, you can do some good things with that. So I've been enjoying it. That's kind of like my hidden tech there. Is Kai'Sa carry is still strong. You just have to feel out the game and see if 3 costs are going to be contested, and if they are, sweet. They're going to be pulled out of the pool, and you're going to have greater opportunity to hit your 3-star. So that's my little tech.
I think one thing that's kind of cool about 3-cost rerolls, and I've felt this way since set 5 when I started running like the Misfortune Forgotten carries back in the day. I really like that you can sit at 7 or 8. Like you can realistically roll at either of them. You probably want to roll at 7 to hit your stuff, so you don't spend as much gold going up to 8. But you can go up to 8 if you think you aren't going to hit and you're going to just try and coast to a top 4. Like I feel like it gives you some nice options. Whereas you're playing like a 2-star or a 1-star, 1 cost or a 2 cost reroll, you need to stay at 1 or stay at 5 or 6 respectively, and you don't have options. You kind of just need to stay at those 2 levels.
Keen's out here outing me. He's like, Kai'Sa's a good way to stay out of Masters. Thanks, Keith. I said it was a B comp. It's not even A or S tier. It's just, but if you hit it, hey.
Keens, what's your take on Kale carry?
Yeah, we need to hear Kale carry?
Yeah, we need the Keens input on Kale carry. B for below Master.
It's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. I think Kale is actually like legitimately good with hero augment. Like I think you can win the game.
Everybody's against Honeybear here.
Yeah. Have you ever run it, Keens, without the carry augment, or the augments for her? Because I think you can actually like go 5th, 4th with it if you just have the angle and you go for it. Or would you instead rather just, why don't you put that onto Vayne instead, kind of thing? I guess we'll see when he responds.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I have not tried. I mean, again, I'm saying this in mid diamond, so take that with a grain of salt. But I like playing it, so therefore I get fun even if I get 5th or 6th. So
yep. That's a big one. Not tried.
Let's see. I think we should move it along a little bit though, and cover the one big thing I want to get into that's not in set 8.5. But we have sets that are no longer going to have half sets. They're just going to be one full 4-ish month set. What's your gut take on this right away?
I'm kind of excited for it. So I will be honest, this happened while I was out, so I have not read too much up on it. Of like what their whole design process is. I don't know if they've released absolutely everything on how the dynamic of this is going to work. Is there at all a reset of Elo?
My assumption would be yes.
Okay, because I don't know if they had released that, and maybe they have and I just missed it. If there's no reset of Elo, I don't really like it. I really like the soft reset. I think the soft reset is almost needed. I want a little soft reset. I think a lot of people in this, I think it affects the people at the top. They probably don't like, I lost 1800 LP or something. It's like, that sucks. Yeah. It does. And I feel for those people, but there are also going to be, 7,000 people at 0 LP Masters that their MMR is destroyed.
grief.
They griefed it away. It is gone. And so for people like that, I like the soft reset. Or the same thing can be said for people who are like, hard stuck diamond, hard stuck plat, hard stuck gold, wherever you're at. I think a reset of MMR is really needed sometimes to help that person climb. So I do enjoy it unless they fix some of the MMR system. But I think a soft reset is needed still.
Yeah. So Ramsey says, "Oh, there's no way it's not a hard reset every time," and that's kind of how I'm feeling as well. I think that just there will be. If I had to guess, I don't see why they wouldn't, other than like perhaps they want a year-long elo, kind of like they have in.
Oh, I mean, a soft reset. If it's a 4-month span, I want a little soft reset in between.
Oh, like every 2 months or
something
between
like that.
Each set? Okay.
I don't know. Well, is it a 4-month set? And wait,
so it's 3 4-month sets a year.
Okay. Well, I guess 4 months. I don't actually think you can do. 2 months. I don't think you can do a soft reset.
Yeah, I was like,
so maybe my opinion's mute. I like soft resets, but yeah, maybe those are just going to be a thing of the past.
Yeah, I mean, I could see like an in between, a little bit of that. Like apparently, this is like my theme today of like finding the in between for everything and of a compromise. And like if you hit Challenger, you get reset to like Platinum or something. So like you don't have to do the grind at the very bottom because that's kind of brutal.
I don't know, because how many games do you think it takes Challenger players to hit Platinum?
Okay, fine, Diamond. Okay, so Challenger players. Fine.
Yeah, maybe Diamond's a little better, but it doesn't take long.
I don't know how the schematics of that would work though, because they would be playing against a bunch. Like, there's only so many Challenger players, so like they wouldn't have very many people to play against except themselves. So it'd be a really awkward climbing.
Yeah, correct.
Like they would. There are people that are way better at this than me, so I'm just throwing out hypotheticals.
Yeah. I mean, 4 months isn't gonna be that bad, but yeah, I don't know. It does stink for the players, and maybe they're fixing some of the elo things outside. But it does stink. I mean, you felt this, right? You've been stuck Diamond 4 with it, what feels like absolutely no way to climb out of it. Right? Just because you're like, okay, I'm gaining 30 on a win, I'm losing 80 on a loss. It's like, how do you do that anymore? Unless you're like a high tier Challenger player, because these guys have locked it down. They figured it out, right? I get it at the highest tier, but lower down the tiers, it's like I just don't get that. It's too tough. When you get the expired minus 106 or 109 or whatever it was, it's like the guy won like 8 games straight and then
just lost it all.
Then got 1/8 and lost all of his LP. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw, but when I was in Master, I had hit Master, and then I made it up to 101 LP, and then I lost 95 LP for an 8th.
Yep. Yeah.
So when that happens, I just give me the whole reset. I don't care. Put me in bronze so I can climb my way back up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's always a show per se for the first like 2 weeks anyway of a set. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any real solution for this.
That's my only gripe is if it is a longer set and 4 months is longer, I hope there are some changes, MMR wise, that assist players that get stuck. Because if you're stuck and you're still playing, you're probably going to get better at the game. And if you're getting better at the game, you should have an avenue out. You should have an avenue up. And as of right now, if you are stuck for a long enough period of time, there is not really an avenue up, which stinks. So that's really my only gripe with it. Other than that, I'm kind of excited. I hope the balance team figures stuff out as well. That would stink to have just a set of unbalanced champions that they can't figure out anything to do with, or like unbalanced traits. You get the Astral again, where we're like, we're stuck with Astral. The balance team doesn't know what to do with it. We don't know what to do with it, and we're stuck with it for 4 months. Here we go. Like that would be tragic in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the thing is that they said that they'll have individual teams working on each set for an extended period. So like there'll be, I don't know if you paid much attention to Call of Duty, but they have like different like teams basically working on the entire game for the entirety of its development, and then they stay with that once it launches.
Yep.
And then once it ends, they go on to their next set. So like it's going to be more of like these people are going to be spending a lot of time working on these. So I think that's going to be a much healthier thing for that, where like we have only one set and no half set to like get rid of things. But it should theoretically be more balanced.
Theoretically.
But
there's also the argument of like there are Call of Duty games that are terrible, and there are obvious differences amongst the teams. Right? There's one team that's pretty good. There's one team that's like, sad this game's coming out. Can't wait for the next team to get their game out because this team kind of sucks. So that could be a problem. I hope it's not. I hope they figure things out. With a lot of this stuff, I want to put my trust in Mortog. I think he's really good at this aspect of things. I think he's really good at getting things together. He's not as good at streaming during events, but completely different topic. So I got faith in the guy. I think he can nail it. If he says this is the way to go, I think it's gonna be pretty good for him.
Yeah, no, I think it's the way forward. I think this will change like how we do our competitive setups, but I'm excited for it. In terms of competitiveness, though, we can start talking about our weeklies here. Actually, so we are still doing the challenge, League Trolley sponsored weeklies, and so we had something fun happen this week actually, where so we had the full 32 group bracket. And we had somebody who had played in a couple of our tournaments win every single game that they played, including the finals, and that was Super Flames. Congratulations to him. I don't know. Haven't seen him in chat, but that's kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah. How would you compare that to? Was it Keynes's run?
Yeah.
Of all first, 1 second in the finals for a 128 bracket.
I mean, this is a 32-player 3-game bracket, so I think it's still just a little bit less.
I think it's a lot less, but
yeah, a little of a lot.
A little of a lot. Still really cool though. Is nobody's done that, right? This is the first time.
Yeah, I don't think anybody like. So again, take this with a grain of salt. It's 3 games, but they won every game, and I don't think that's happened at all in any of our events. If it has happened, perhaps it's happened in some of the other challenge weeklies, but it never happened in our challenger mode ones because those were huge. Yikes! But that was cool. And then they won a cool $70 for getting first in the finals this week, and then $30 going to Gank Me. I'm bored. I think they're playing the wrong game, or maybe not because they won $30. So. Yeah, okay. That's it was pretty quick and simple. I'm actually really liking these weeklies of just being only $30 or not $30 of only being 3 games for all of it, and making it quite a lot quicker. I'm enjoying it in that sense because I kind of come in, interact with a lot of people, and then I'm like done 2 hours. Let's go. But I think I can't wait to get back to a little bit bigger one because there's a lot of people we're missing out on. I'll still highlight it again. We've got a lot of people here, even in chat, that are from Europe and can't play. So definitely looking forward to getting back into those. And we're working heavily with a lot of different sponsors to try and get that figured out.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Leagues?
Yeah, leagues. Let's pop right into leagues. So we've got a lot of signups actually already. So it took us over 2 weeks to get to the signup amount that we have had in 8.5 as it did in 8.0. So it's a running joke almost that the 0.5 sets just have less interest. But I mean, shoot me, I guess. It looks like I'm wrong. We have I believe about 81 or 82 signups already.
Yep.
In like 5 days. Wow. I think it has a lot to do with how much more outreach we're doing. We're putting it in a lot more places. We're putting it on Twitter. We have like the main Aegis Twitter now. That that's super helpful having that much exposure. I don't know. I'm excited for these leagues.
Yeah, same. I think the leagues are gonna be hype. I'm excited. We talked about it a little bit. We do have a lot of signups for AAL. I'm really excited to watch the AAL, see it grow, see a lot of these players playing the AAL, possibly find their way to the AML next set. I think we already have a few signups that might be in the AML that were in the AAL last set. So that'd be pretty exciting if that actually happens, if they actually make it in there. That'd be really cool. So, and then the same going for AML to ACL. I always like those jumps, but yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of watching of the AAL, hoping for those players to, keep climbing, keep rising, getting better, enjoying the competition. The crew that was over there last set, a lot of them seem to be coming back, and they're a really cool bunch of people. Like, I really enjoyed the AAL people. Like, they're pretty fun. So I greatly enjoyed it. I'm that's the league that, like, I'm pretty excited to see.
Yeah, no, I think one thing that's kind of interesting to see is that there are that many more signups for AAL. I think it's because a lot of these more casual players, like some of them take it competitively and take it very seriously. But overall, it's when you compare it to like the challenger bracket, it's more casual. And perhaps they like play on their off time, or they don't take it as like competitively. But then they come in and have a great time here in AAL, and those people aren't as plugged into spaces like this because there isn't much that caters to that kind of play style. So when we post in like originally we posted AAL in like the comp TFT subreddit and perhaps like the Reddit like spaces that are more competitive, or even our own space that's more competitive. Like nobody's coming to our tournaments that's a gold player likely and staying for a long time. There are some exceptions, obviously, but a lot of them are like, I'm not winning here. Goodbye.
Yep.
I'm gonna go play casually. But then we have these players in that are like, hey, I'm having a good time playing this. I'm gonna go tell my friends that are also around my same elo that are casually playing. And that's perhaps where I'm seeing a lot of these signups come from, is people telling other people that they had a good time.
For sure. Yeah, I'm excited. The leagues are shaping up. If you guys have not signed up, make sure you sign up. We'll be doing another round of reach outs here soon. So if you haven't signed up, make sure you sign up. We'd love to see your name pop up in there. And we're going to sometime soon. I don't know if we have a date of when. Do we have a date of when we're going to start reaching out to people, accepting them to leagues?
Yeah, it should be this week. Not weekend. This Wednesday, I believe. It should be the 1 week beforehand. It's the 29th, I believe, of April. So this Wednesday, we're going to start accepting people. And then the deadline is that next Wednesday on the 5th. So people still have time. You can debate whether you would like to participate or not.
Yep. And there is nothing, there is no, contract with just signing up. If you sign up and we reach out to you and we're like, hey, we want to accept you, and you're like, actually, no, I'm good. No harm, no foul. Perfectly acceptable. Or if you just let us know, hey, I signed up, 2 days later, you're like, nah, I'm not doing it. That's fine. No worries at all. It happens all the time. So just make sure you get signed up, because you can't play if you don't sign up. So make sure you're doing that first and foremost. But enough with my PSA over here.
Yeah, imagine. Do you run these tournaments or something?
No, I actually don't. I haven't TO'd in a while. I'm a full-time producer now, it feels like.
I mean that's only because you were on vacation. You would have been a lot more involved if you were. Yeah. That's your fault.
It is. Leagues, awards? Do you got any more on leagues?
No, I'm good on leagues. Let's go straight into the awards then.
Awards. If you guys don't know, we're got a high roll and low roll of the week. Right after this, we're gonna do question and answer. If you guys have any questions, we'll answer them. Could be about TFT. Could be about anime. I have been watching a lot of anime. It could be about the March Madness tournament. That I've also been watching. Could be about anything. Lawrence's mustache. When's it going to be shaven? Who knows?
No.
But feel free to ask any questions. We'll answer them there. But high roll, low roll, Lorence, what do you want to start with?
So I actually want to start with my high roll.
Okay. I hope it's not mine.
Oh, okay. My high roll is as we were just talking about, AAL. I think it's a high roll of the week that we can have this many people actually interested in a lower bracket where people are. Again, I'm hoping I'm not generalizing here, but taking the game a little more casually. I really like what we've done with the space by allowing people that don't obsess over the game or perhaps like have the time to play at a super competitive level or just enjoy the game and the level they're at and aren't searching to move up to like challenge or anything, and giving them a space to play. Clearly it's working at least to some degree. I would say quite highly, and I think they're the high roll. That group of people is gonna be in for a great time this 8.5 set.
Feels good. You did not take my high roll. I already talked about the AAL and how excited I am for that. My high roll is Ramen Blitz. Ramen Blitz is the high roll of the week. He was rank 1 for a good amount of time on day 1, and he also was rank 2 for a solid amount of time. He was the second person to hit Masters on the North American server. That is pretty exciting. He was like 6 minutes away from hitting, for being the first person to hit Masters. And so extremely, extremely close. I think that is amazing. It's a great accomplishment. Huge shout out to Ramen Blitz. I don't think he expected that going in. But yeah, that was really awesome to see. Watched it live on his Twitch, and got to see his excitement. I think he went and celebrated with McDonald's afterwards. Way
to go,
but it was cool. That was really cool. It's fun to watch a player like Ramen who has really grown over this time at Aegis, and it was awesome to see. So definitely my high roll there. Secondary high roll, because I didn't get to say this last time, but TC3 was awesome. That was a high roll.
TC3 was awesome.
That was 2 weeks ago now. TC3 was really cool. I hope that people support things like TC3 in the future. I hope there can be more things like TC3. I hope there can be an Aegis 1. That'd be awesome. Probably not going to happen anytime in the near future, but that'd be cool. So I hope you guys support these things because it is going to pave the way for the future of TFT LAN events, which are really cool. So, yeah. Low rolls?
Low roll. Low roll is technically 2 combined into 1. You and I for getting our butts whooped in Jeopardy yesterday.
I wasn't on Jeopardy yesterday.
Yeah, you were.
Don't remember being on Jeopardy.
Okay.
I remember producing Jeopardy. I remember Lorence 2.0 got his butt kicked.
Okay.
I do not remember Honeybear participating.
The Lorence
don't remember
twins.
it.
The Lorence twins got their butts handed to them yesterday.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Gosh. It was a good time, though. It was a great time. I can't wait to do something like that again. I know I probably won't be able to play next time because I'm the loser, so therefore the winner should be able to continue on, but I'm looking forward to setting it up again. It was so much fun.
Yeah, Indie Alex did an awesome job with that. I was really impressed with his hosting ability. I think it was awesome. Just a really cool guy. I'm glad he set that up. Shout out to him and his whole team for putting together all those questions. He only messed up on one of the questions, and CLE called him out on that. And that was funny. I think it was CLE called him out on that. Yeah, super super cool event that he was able to put on. I really enjoyed it. So was there another one, or is it just that was it?
Oh, that was the 2 combined into
okay,
one.
2 combined was
me and you and me, yeah, or the 2 Lawrences. Sorry.
Gotcha. My low roll was just not being here for the last couple of weeks. And I haven't hit Diamond yet. I'm kind of sad I haven't hit Diamond yet.
Ooh.
I ran it down this morning. I'm just going to play one game. Played one game. Got what was it? Plat 1, 94 LP. I then went 8-8-7. And now I'm in Plat 2.
You're plateauing?
Yeah, I just needed a 4th. I went 8-8-7. Yep.
That's always tragic.
Yeah, it was. I just needed a 4th, and I'm like, you know what gets me 4th? Vex. And then I hit nothing.
Wrong.
I hit nothing.
That's a player diff.
It really was. Being a player diff. Question and answers. I saw a really good one to start that I wanted to start off with.
Oh, go ahead.
This was from CLE Till I Die TFT. Shout out to CLE. Most people just know him as CLE. Why is Lorence so bad at Jeopardy?
I think the thing is I'm a YOLO player when I play most things. I kind of just like, this sounds like fun, I'm gonna do it. And so that bleeds into playing on Jeopardy. This is a copium moment, I'm sure. Make fun of me for it all you want. But I like look at the question and I'm like, I'll just guess. And so I ended up losing like well over 4,000 points. And that probably would have put me into like second, I think. So well. Yeah, no, I mean that probably influenced it a lot. Maybe I should be a little more reserved, I should say, with my answering.
For sure.
Rip.
You know who was sick? Boyses was really fast on the buzzer. That was something that I think was surprised. Boyses was crushing it.
At the beginning, especially. And then CLE was like, just kidding. I'm better than you. And I know it.
Yeah. Did you see anything else?
No, I didn't see anything else.
Hey, I know Valencia talked real fast about Hacker getting a little boring. Hacker him. Just kind of not being as exciting. So I guess I'm gonna take that and just kind of change it into my own question, if you will. Are you? I know we talked about this a little bit, but are you disappointed with some of the things that they actually brought back? Possibly the Hacker Rim, of like it was really cool, maybe not as much anymore.
I think that. Have you heard much with that they're changing it? They're taking away Hacker 2.
I did not know they were taking away Hacker 2.
Yeah, they're taking away Hacker 2. And I think that's incredibly healthy, in my opinion. I think you should be realistically committing decent resources into getting the Hacker. Because right now, like, you just have a LeBlanc out, and then you're like, okay, who else am I gonna? You throw in the random Hacker, and now you've got a free toss your Draven to the backline Hacker, right? Or like you're playing defenders with Draven or something, and you're like, oh, I just have Shen, and then toss in a LeBlanc, and you could get a free Hacker and send your Draven to the backline, or your Warwick, or what have you. And it felt a little too free to do. Whereas here, if you need to do a 3-4-5. And put at least 3 in, you need to commit an augment or multiple units to actually getting the Hacker. I think that's incredibly healthy, personally. So if you asked me before that point, I would have said I'm a little disappointed with how they kept Hacker. But now I'm hearing that change, and I'm much more happy with it, personally.
That's fair. Yeah, I can agree with that. It did kind of seem a little free. Yeah. Especially because a unit like Shen feels like you can slap him in so many comps right now. Just feels really good.
Ability alone, like his ability alone is like, oh, I like this ability.
Yep.
Put it in.
And Defender's not bad. I mean, there's a lot of AP comps out there right now, but Defender seems still pretty strong. You know, I would say that AP seems a little heavier than AD right now. AP seems to be the way to go. So, yeah. We'll see how it scales in the future. But with no more questions that I see, into the outro. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, guys. We are live every single Sunday. We'll be back live on the main Aegis channel now. So that's exciting. Main Aegis Twitch channel. Pretty excited for that. Lorence, anything you want to shout out before we take off?
We can shout out, obviously, everyone that's here in chat and has been interacting. I've seen Semra a bunch. Celia is obviously here. Rain. I saw Valencia hanging out for a bit, and I know you're over in quite a late time zone over there. I'm really appreciative of you being here, even though it's quite late. I also see Pouring saying XDD for the first time. Rainbow is also here. Thank you all for coming out. I'm sure I missed a couple people. Cramsey was here too. I really like getting to hang out with everyone. That's why I do this. That's why I love doing it. Sure, it's why Honeybear likes doing it as well. So
that guy Keynes was in here too. That was nice.
Oh, that weirdo. Okay. Yeah. No. Again, thanks for coming out, everyone. I really appreciate it. That's all I got.
You guys have a wonderful rest of your night. We will see you guys back next weekend, Sunday, sometime around 7:30, 8 o'clock EST. That's when we try to make it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Reach out to me if you guys are hitting on the Rift. Or not the Rift, excuse me. I don't play Rift anymore. Well, actually, I did play Clash. That was fun. You guys got third, Lorence?
Yeah, we got third.
We'll take that. I got fifth. I'll take fifth. Which stinks because we both went 2-1. I just lost my first game. You won your first game.
Yeah, exactly. You were in the worst bracket, though.
Felt terrible. Like, I wanted to...
Cool.
Anyways, I digress. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We'll be back live. And then in 2 weeks, is it 2 weeks away we got League play?
It will be...
3 weeks?
So 2 weeks is actually the Ramen Bowl. And then 3
Ramen
weeks...
Bowl! We haven't shouted that out yet.
Yeah, so shout out the Ramen Bowl. I don't have the sign-up link on hand, but dig around. We've got it in the Discord elsewhere. Ask Ramen Blitz for it. I don't know if they're even still taking sign-ups because they got almost too many already, but more the merrier, I'm sure. So shout out to that. And then in 3 weeks, we'll have League play. I'm excited for that to be back. Whoa.
We'll catch you guys next time. Everybody have a wonderful night. We'll see you guys next weekend. Peace out, everybody.
Bye, everyone.